How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Jumping right into it today, we do have two marginal risk areas of severe weather. That one up in the northern plains includes Colorado, Nebraska, Iowa, South Dakota, Minnesota, North Dakota, and then the other one on the east coast includes Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. Hail, we do have two 5% chances of seeing hail of 1 inch diameter or larger within 25 miles of the point in the brown. And then we have a 15% chance of seeing hail 1 inch diameter or larger than 25 miles of point in the yellow. And on top of that, we do have a 15% hatched risk of seeing hail of 2 inches diameter or larger hail than 25 miles of point in the yellow dashed area. I am in that. If you live in Platte, Madison, Boone, Merrick, Nance counties, anywhere east of that, you are in that hatch risk for hail. Wind, we do have two 5% chance areas of seeing wind of 50 knots or stronger within 25 miles of point in the brown, and then a 15% chance of seeing wind gusts of 50 knots or higher within 25 miles of point in the yellow. Okay, tornado risk. We do have a 5% chance of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of point in the brown, and then a 5% chance of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of point in the green. For tomorrow, we have a large marginal risk set over a big portion of the Ohio River Valley, including Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, Ohio, West Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan. A slight risk in Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and then an enhanced risk in Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan. Hail. We have a large 5% chance of seeing hail 1 inch diameter or larger than 25 miles of a point in the brown. A 15% chance of seeing hail of 1 inch diameter or larger within 25 miles of a point in the yellow. A 15% hatch risk of seeing hail of 2 inch diameter or larger than 25 miles of a point in the yellow dashed area, and then a 30% hatched risk of seeing hail of 2 inch diameter or larger than 25 miles of a point in the red dashed area. Wind, we have a large 5% chance of seeing wind gusts of 50 knots or higher within 25 miles of the point in the brown, a 15% chance of seeing wind gusts within 25 miles of the point in the yellow, and then a 30% chance of seeing wind gusts of 50 knots or higher within 25 miles of the point in the red. Tornadoes. We have a large 2% chance of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of the point in the green, and then a 5% chance of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of the point in the brown. Now, this could be upgraded still. So I will monitor this after the video, and if it gets upgraded, we'll talk about it probably on Facebook. But going ahead to day 3, we do have a marginal risk in Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, and then a slight risk in Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Mississippi, with a 5% chance of seeing severe weather within 25 miles of the point in the brown, and then a 15% chance of seeing severe weather within 25 miles of the point in the yellow. Okay. Day 4 is quiet. We do have a slight risk issued for day 5 that includes Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. And then we do have a slight risk for day 6 that includes Oklahoma and Kansas. As these days do include the western OKC metro area and then the entire OKC metro area. But before we look at pivotal weather, I do want to look at this because this has been fairly spot on. So, the Colorado State University does show a 10% chance of a tornado, along with a large 5% um, This doesn't mean that this will actually happen, but this has been fairly spot on when it comes to forecasting severe weather. Day two, for Thursday, they do have two 10% areas of tornadoes, along with a small 15% chance of a tornado in Wisconsin. Day three, the day three model, they're still, so the yellow would be slight risk. The red here is the same as an enhanced risk, and then the purple is about a moderate risk. And then the circle lines, that's their hatched risk. So this is on a moderate risk of severe weather with a 15% chance of a tornado, hail and wind being a 30%. So something to keep in mind. Um, Day five, they do have that slight risk, same area that the SPC has it. Um, Day six, they do have it the same way. They have theirs extended further north, all the way up into South Dakota. So we will monitor this after the video. We will monitor model runs and see if a live stream is imminent today or tomorrow. So we'll go ahead and look at the Superstock Composite for today as okay. So let me put this into perspective for you, okay? If I was making the SPC models and outlooks for today, for the tornado risk, I would almost move that 5% more east and make it bigger. I would have it include my area in south. That is where I, based off this model, these two scans right here, that is where I see the greatest tornado potential. Okay? Within these two, I think eastern Nebraska has the highest chance of seeing a tornado. It's not going to be a strong tornado. Probably EF1. It won't be long lived. It'll be brief. But if I was doing it, that's what I would do. I'm not saying that to scare anybody. I'm just saying, in my opinion, that is what I would do based off these two scans that I'm seeing. We'll go towards Thursday. I do believe that the SPC and pivot weather are pretty correlating with the greatest tornado potential being in Wisconsin. I have believed that for about a couple days now, as anywhere where we thought the greatest tornado potential is, they kind of been, there's just been a lot of discrepancy between models and uncertainty. Friday, I think the greatest tornado potential is going to be in Illinois, in Indiana. Now, there's a bit of uncertainty for Thursday is if storms fire up. A lot of models being too aren't showing storms firing up, which would limit the tornado threat and just storm threat all around. But if they do fire up, then we could be talking about a more prolific severe weather event. If we go to Saturday, um, I think it's an overnight threat, really, for Saturday in Oklahoma. Um, I'm going to point out this photograph, though. Um, this photograph right here is a is very indicative of large hail producers because it's skewed out so far on the back end. We go Saturday, Sunday. I do think Sunday, though, by the time we get there, we could be looking at a potential for a large slight risk by the time it becomes a day four outlook. Just by the fact of look at this photograph. Holy cow. We've got good cape. The cloud base is very low. Um, high amounts of down cape, but that doesn't really affect this a whole lot. And that was in Kansas. Let's go down to the one here in Oklahoma. Okay. High amounts of cape, high amounts of down cape, lower 3K, but a lot of relative helicity, good photograph signature. Remember, this is for Sunday. But then once it moves up to Nebraska, the tornado threat decreases tremendously. Then we get to Tuesday, and then that tornado threat increases for Nebraska, and this is pretty much smack dab in my hometown. This hazard type. Okay, this can change. It's still just under a week out, but it is something to monitor as we do get closer and closer to peak tornado season in the not the Midwest, the Great Plains. This is not the Midwest. The Midwest is over here. This is the Great Plains. Um, but no, it is something to monitor as we get closer to it because we've been kind of quiet on the severe weather end this year, so I do suspect a big uptick and ramp up in it within the next week or so. Okay, so before we end today's video, I do just want to show you the NIU extended forecast supercell models here. Week one is about what we're seeing with the extended look on the supercell composite. Week two, a little quieter, but it's still hitting most of Texas. And then by week three, Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska start to wake up. So those are all following along in what we've been seeing. So, but other than that, guys, I have nothing else for you. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you're new and you haven't already. Tell your friends and family about the channel. Please, please, please try and do that. Tell them to subscribe as we are ending peak tornado season. Now more than ever, do you need to be subscribed to get your weather updates. But you know what, I'm going to see you in the next one. Peace.